Good evening. Tempers flared at Universal Studios tonight when the park ran out of its signature drink, butterbeer. What started as disappointment soon grew into a noisy confrontation with security and police.
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. It's Christmas. Yeah. Sleigh bells ring. It's Christmas. Gift in my hand. It's Christmas. Grab a quick more Christmas. Right up the block. It's Christmas. Yeah.
Yo! Move! Back up! Oh my God! It's hitting the monorail!
Get ready to blast beyond your imagination at the all-new Epic Universe theme park.
It's the adventure of every world in one place.
Thrill through twisting coasters, journey through cosmic frontiers, and end your night under dazzling...
Buckle up, time travelers. Blast through the past, rocket to the future, and hang on tight as you chase the clock in the ultimate adventure. It's fast, it's furious, and it's only at Universal Studios Orlando. Back to the...
Hello, neighbor. Welcome to the Capture the Magic channel. I'm so glad you found your way here. I've heard that the host, Jared, is a very handsome and charming guy. And you know something? I think you'll enjoy listening to him a whole lot.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. We also, there we go. I have Theme Park Conductor here as well. Hopefully, everybody had a very Merry Christmas. And we figured we're just going to have a little chill live stream tonight. Talk about a few subjects. Maybe talk about some Christmas stuff. Maybe our best Christmas gifts we ever got as kids. Because I got a little nostalgic because my kids go crazy at Christmas all the time. But I'm happy to be here. And hopefully everybody in the chat had a good Christmas as well. I was going to do a Christmas Eve live stream. And then it became apparently clear to me. My wife was like, you can. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. So I didn't do that in lieu of just, it's like, I was just, it's something when your wife will sometimes just be like, sure, yeah, if that's what you want to do. And I'm like, okay, all right.
See,
picture.
You're a smart man, Jared. You're a smart man. I used to get that from Max all the time. Like, oh yeah, you could do that if you want. And that's code word for try it.
Yeah. She said something like, well, yeah, sure. I just figured, we'd spend time as a family. I'm like, okay. All right. I get it. So, because I was going to do it like an off time because, we're staying at home we're not going anywhere for Christmas. We didn't go anywhere. So I was like, we're going to have a lot of downtime, but I decided not to do that. And Conductor is here. He's having some internet issues, so he may pop in and out. So we'll get Conductor when he gets in here. But I am joined by some great gentlemen here on this live stream. We have Orange Grove 55. Who's always a guest over here. He's a great. Yes. And I was also live streaming over on his channel as well. But thank you for being here. And if in case people aren't watching on your channel, where can they find you? Here on the great wide internet that people
no, it's always a good time talking shop with you, Jared. I appreciate you being an amazing host as always, and Mr. Theme Park Conductor with his sidekick over there, Boba Fett.
Yep.
I appreciate you, gentlemen. You can find me right here on YouTube, Orange Grove 55, talking theme parks, studio, just all kinds of nerdy stuff. It's just kind of fun, just talking nerdy stuff. So yeah, find me right here on YouTube and on Instagram at Orange Grove 55.
Yes, sir. And Cassandra says, good men picking up on the signals. Well, I learned a long time ago. I was like, well, certain things are worth it. My whole thinking was, and I'm being totally genuine, I know there's a lot of people that sometimes the holidays can be lonely. And so I was like, I might go live just to hang out and just, give somebody, some entertainment, because some channels and some places don't have stuff going on Christmas. But I was like, well, I can either provide entertainment or be in the doghouse. And I was like, I'll just do it on Friday. That's fine.
Yeah,
it's around Christmas, so it'll be there. And Conductor is here. Conductor, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, well, welcome. I was going to introduce you. Where can they find you? And if you pop in and out, we'll just keep bringing you up on here until your internet fixes it. So
hey, I'm the ghost of Christmas past, quite literally. I'm popping in and out of here. I don't know what the deal is.
There it is.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you, OG55, for allowing me to come back on one of these Theme Parkin live streams. I love it. You can find me on YouTube and Blue Sky at Theme Park Conductor, on X at Theme Conductor, at TikTok at Theme Park Conductor 1, Instagram at Theme_Park_Conductor, and every Sunday at 5 or 7 p.m. for Conductor Sunday live stream, where we have amazing guests like the one and only Orange Go 55 with his wild wicked hair, Jared with his East Coast opinions and about the theme parks out there, and so many others as we break theme park news down, whether it's coming from Disney or Universal. And just recently, I give Josh Tomorrow some credit because you know what? I think he's going to be the next CEO. That's where my headspace is at.
Yeah. I think we're going to talk about that because I think it's been known for like almost a year now. It's going to be him. And they keep having these stories like, it looks like Josh Tomorrow might be the next CEO. I'm like, you think? Like everybody in the world's saying that. But
exactly.
Storybook Sorcerer says, I can picture Jamie going, sure, Jared. Sounds like a wonderful idea. Yeah, it was kind of along those lines. I thought she'd have been all for it. Like, I thought maybe she was going to, like, it was going to be Christmas Eve. I was like, for us, so as a kid growing up, I don't know about you guys, we always did Christmas Eve, like the morning, that's when we opened our presents. And then we had my grandparents that night. And we go to my mom's, my other grandma's house on Christmas Day. So for us, Christmas Eve's kind of chill. Like we don't do a whole lot. And I was like, well, it's not gonna be that big a deal. And then apparently it was. So I picked up on that. I didn't push my luck there. But did you guys get any? Oh, we got a super here from Kiki and Luca for $1.99. Says running a channel is better than drugs and hookers.
There you go. That's true.
I should have had that as my defense. Like I could be running drugs and hookers out here, and then that might be a fight though. I mean, quite honest, may not have been the best bet. Well, did you guys get anything cool for Christmas? Or anybody in the chat as well? I'm curious what everybody got. If you got anything good or just like socks.
Well, basically for like as I got older, just kind of money is pretty much all I get now. But like as a kid though, we'll talk about the kids like for our childhood and what we got as kids. But man, Jared, you and I are about the same age, and growing up in the 80s as a kid, Christmases were like next level, bro. They were next level. I mean, it was such a great time to be alive, you know?
That's awesome.
Absolutely. I remember I snuck a peek at one of the years of I think it was the year I got a Sega Genesis. It was the year I got a Sega Genesis or I got a Nintendo 64. I can't remember which one it was. And I couldn't wait. I was like, I knew where my mom put him. So I got my brother in there and we went and found it and my mom caught us. Wow. And it was like a week before Christmas. And so she's like, well, keep it a secret from your dad. And I learned really quickly that was a bad move because it was miserable having to wait, like knowing you're getting a Sega for like a week and you couldn't touch it. And I was like, oh, this is the worst. Like I was like, I immediately regret this decision. And I learned really quickly not to do that.
A childhood buddy of mine, when the Super Nintendo came out, right?
Ooh.
He ended up getting the Super Nintendo for Hanukkah. But I had to wait till Christmas for it. But Hanukkah came out before Christmas. So I was like so jealous. I'm like, oh, bro, you get it like a full week or two before me, dude. That's crazy, you know?
Yeah.
But
you have a good we got some super chats real quick. We got Remy D. So we got a couple here. We got Remy D for 10. Please share your. And then there's another super chat from Remy D. Says another 10. Your best gift. Excuse me. And then another super chat of all time. So altogether, $30 from Remy D. So shout out to Remy D.
Thank you, Remy.
Please share your best gift of all time. I actually will say, I mean, my best gift of all time was probably when I got like a Sega or Nintendo 64, something like that. But this year, I'm going to show you guys.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
So I wanted this whenever it was on. Lego had it as an experimental thing they might do. And it's Soundwave. So I've got it transformed into the boombox right now, but it also, hold on. I gotta get it makes noises. Hold on. I just don't, this thing is, I don't want it to break. Okay.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. I love it. And like, so amazing. It has the sounds and then it even has the cassette deck where it pops out and it's got the little
way
and it'll transform into them. Yeah. Dude, this thing is awesome. And I would transform. These things are, if you guys ever got the Lego Transformers, they are a pain to transform back and forth. Like stuff always falls off. So once they get set, I kind of don't touch them.
Yeah.
But dude, this thing is awesome. Like I love this thing.
Hell yeah, dude. That's pretty sick. And I know that's your favorite Transformer, Soundwave.
He's my favorite Decepticon. He's awesome. I mean, Optimus is the best, but my Optimus back there, you can't transform. He's too tall to fit in here, and then in the truck form, they're a mess trying to transform back and forth. They got him, Optimus Prime, and I have Bumblebee for the Transformers ones, but they're pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then our kids got a puppy this year, so they're super
excited. I've been seeing so many Instagram reels of parents giving puppies to their kids, and some of it's pretty emotional. But the one thing I keep seeing across the board, I don't know if your kids did this, but usually the daughter of the kids is like bawling, crying. It was like nonstop, video after video after video.
Yeah, she's like me. She's like me, and she literally is me in girl form. So she has all my mannerisms, but just with it's in a girl. So it's really interesting watching it.
Yeah.
So she's been wanting a dog for years. So we finally got it, and so it was the day before Christmas when we got him, and so we surprised them, and they both freaked out, like they were going nuts. So now we have and this dog now is sleeping in our bed and wakes. It likes me, and I don't like to cuddle when I sleep. Like I don't think it's on me. And that dog just wants to lay on my neck and like lick my face. I'm like, dude,
that's so cute.
What kind of dog is it?
But not in like 4 a.m. when you're trying to sleep. Just go to bed, dog. But yeah.
What kind of dog is it?
It is a miniature schnauzer. Which we had one. When I met my wife, she had a miniature schnauzer, and then we had him up until our daughter was 3, and his back eventually went out and stuff like that. But he was a great dog, and my wife is allergic to dog hair, so they don't shed. So they're nice. Don't worry about dog hair, but he won't be very big, but he is pretty cute. I might bring him up here. When they go to bed, the dog comes, so he may make an appearance here. But,
it's funny, Jared. Out here in California, man, dogs are basically people, dude. They have health insurance. We roll them around in strollers. They can co-sign for you on an apartment if you want. I mean, it's
hey, at Costco, you can actually go to the pharmacy and get their meds, so they're definitely part of the family. I mean,
the thing is, he doesn't actually make a lot of noise. Like I could take him into places with me. I could put him literally like in a hoodie and probably just walk around with him.
That's awesome.
And he'd be. Because he likes to nuzzle. Like I was laying on the couch and he nuzzled inside my hoodie and just laid there for and they're puppies, so they sleep like all day.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, just up to like 10 minutes ago, my daughter had him out with her little friends. They're just running up and down the street with him. So I think he'll be good and tired by the time I go to bed. But
by far,
no, we had a good Christmas. I was telling OG before we went live, I didn't do anything yesterday, and I felt awful this morning. Like I ate like crap. I didn't do anything. I didn't work out. And for me, I was just like, I feel so unproductive. So I've tried to ease into getting some stuff done today. But
that's so cool.
Well, Jared, it's funny because I've told you on the group chats, like in our text messages and stuff, like for the past few months, I've been eating healthier and stuff and trying to do better. And I had the same issue yesterday. Yesterday, I did not eat good at all. I ate right. And you really, when you start eating healthier and then you have a day or two where you don't, it's like you really realize how bad it is.
Especially when you get a little old. Yeah, when you get a little older, like what you eat matters so much more. And you're like, I just feel terrible. Like I had nothing but like pie and carbs and mashed potato and all I had was cookies. And then on top of I just watched like 4 Christmas movies and put together my Lego thing. And I was just like, I was telling OG, all of a sudden I had like horrible heartburn. I never get heartburn. Like, what is wrong with me? And I'm like, oh yeah, I've eaten nothing but just sugar all day.
Oh Lord. Oh wow!
But you guys, do you get anything good, conductor, for Christmas?
So I'm kind of like you guys. I'm in that older bracket, so I got some money from my parents. But one thing I did get, so that just puts me a step closer to the Florida trip. I did get a really nice luggage suitcase set, so I'm that much closer to the Florida trip and hanging out with Jared and hearing them ramble on at people that act stupid in the park. I can't wait for that one. That's going to be my Christmas gift of 2026.
If you ride with me in the car, my wife makes fun of me. I don't have road rage. I talk to traffic. So
I love that even better.
So when somebody pulls out in front of me, and they get a nickname. So I didn't realize I did this till my wife pointed it out one time. And they'll just be like, "Oh, go right ahead there. Go right ahead." And I just start talking to them, and I'll just give them a nickname. And she's like, and she'll say something. I'm like, well, it's either this or I start screaming at traffic. And I just would much rather passively just make up jokes in my head about like whatever's going on. So you might see some of that as well, just especially in Orlando. Orlando traffic is so, you have a mix of uber aggressive Florida drivers and tourists. It's a horrible mix for traffic because you got people that don't know where they're going, and then people going like 95 down the left lane. You're just
But Jared, have you ever driven in California in the rain?
No.
I haven't been in California in the rain. I have been in Texas when it started snowing, though.
Ooh.
And I remember I was a kid, and we were down there by where Kennedy was assassinated, and it started snowing. And I just remember all the cars around us just start spinning, and like pile up happened because none of them knew how to brake because they don't drive in snow. So it was that was quite an experience.
Well, that's how it is out here in Cali. Like when we have rain, it's pandemonium out here. Everything like
it's bad.
It's like the purge. It's just
it is.
People are just all over. Just go down to their they're just start looting and going crazy. The world is.
But
by the way, we got a super from Matt Mirror for 5. I believe that's British pounds. He says, I'm back on the channel next week for my biggest armchair creativity video to date.
Ooh.
I believe
he is. He's gonna come back on OG55, and Matthew's a great friend of the channel. I've known him for years, all the way from the UK, and he's gonna come on and armchair Imagineer with me. But it's good to see you, Matthew. Appreciate you, man.
Awesome.
I love that. Well,
we got Brandon. Oh, so I'll say Brandon Lego Uni Disney fan says my childhood wasn't big on Christmas until I got an Xbox One S.
I love that. So actually, to kind of share what Jared was saying about his childhood and his dad and all that, I got a couple funny stories. They're short. So when I was younger, one of the things, because me and my dad had a horrible habit of, talking between ourselves about what I wanted for Christmas, and my mom was like last to know, and it pissed her the hell off. So there was one year I got like a bicycle, and it was like one of those kind of BMX bikes you could get at Wally World. I call it Wally World, but it's Walmart.
I call it hell on earth, but go on.
Pretty much. Well, now it's hell
pretty
on
accurate.
Back then it wasn't that bad, but now it's hell on. No, so my dad got the BMX bike. He got it like 3 days before, and I just happened to walk in the garage. My mom knew nothing about this bike being in the garage, and I go in there to get some water or something, and I come back in and I'm like, Mom, whose BMX bike is that? And the next thing I know, she's like, what bike are you talking about? And then she walks in there and she's like, all I hear is my dad's name. Get in this garage right now. And for 5 minutes straight, I kid you not, for 5 minutes straight, they were going back and forth, like screaming at each other. My dad's like, oh my God, I wanted to get this for Brandon and blah, 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 blah. And just going back and forth. And then there was another time with the game console, because that's when the PS2 came out. That was a whole nother situation, because she found it in her closet, and that was a whole that was
so your mom
bad.
Was just as surprised that you were what you were getting for Christmas most of the time.
Well, I knew days ahead, and my mom didn't like that either.
So you knew before your mom even knew.
Yeah, so basically she got the receipt, and she's like, what the hell did I just pay $500 for? And then that just spiraled out of control. And then
you're like, it's a great DVD player, Mom, and it also is a video game console. That was the selling point of the PS2 was it was a DVD player, so you could sell it to your parents because it was actually the cheapest DVD player at the time. You're like, and it plays games, and they're like, well, okay, all right.
Hey, we actually did that. When because we were all young and stupid and got into trouble one point or another. So there was a couple times I got grounded. So my dad took my PS2 away, and he's like, I guess we're watching movies. And that next thing I know, I walk in the den, and my mom's like, what are you doing in here? You're grounded. You're not supposed to be watching TV. And all I see is in the corner on the shelf is my PS2, and they're watching movies.
Love it. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, conductor, you said that we've all been young and stupid. To be fair, I'm still stupid. So I never outgrew being stupid. I just
I tell my daughter this. I'm like, my whole motto in life was like, don't make the big mistakes. Like, keep yourself out of the really big mistakes. But I was what you would call a troublemaker. I would like TP houses. I would do pranks on people. Like I was always doing I would call it mischievous, but I wasn't like a criminal.
Okay, I wasn't that daring. I was not. Yeah. Well, actually, okay. I was that daring, but before I go forward, I do want to shout out to Remy D for that $10 super chat. So thank you for that. but I was stupid one time. Okay, so
Just
we
once?
had we well, you're gonna consider this stupid. We had a 2-acre property, single story ranch house, right? And we at the time you could get it was like a tennis racket, but it was padded, right? So it was padded all on both sides, so it had no holes in it. And I'm like to my brother, I'm like, hey, watch this. I grab a little pebble, right? Kid you not, a little rock. I threw all up in there and I hit it. Well, it didn't go the way I thought. Guess where it went? In the back of my dad's Astro van back window, and it shattered it. And even worse, it was the day before we were supposed to travel to Arizona, and it was on a Sunday.
Oh.
So he had to make an emergency call to a guy that had to come out. He paid almost quadruple the price to get the window replaced. And I wasn't talked to by my dad, especially, and my mom for a month.
Yeah, that's rough.
My gosh, that's rough, man. I had something similar happen to me actually as a kid. We had a pretty big backyard, and it was full of it was an orange grove. Ironically enough, we had like a bunch of oranges back there. It was like half an acre, and so ironically, right, even back then, but like we had all these orange trees, and me and my buddy I would be perched in one orange tree, and he'd be perched in the other orange tree, and we called it Orange War, and we would just throw oranges at each other from tree to tree,
Yeah.
And one of the oranges missed, and it went right through the neighbor's bathroom window.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh shit, we're in trouble, And sure enough, like a couple hours later, the neighbor came knocking on the door. I'm like, oh damn it. Oh my God, it happens.
We'll get to some stories in a second. That does remind me of my probably the biggest con job. I don't even know if my parents know about this. I don't think they're watching. So when I first started driving, my car was parked in the garage. And I got in the car. I didn't look behind me. I go to back up, and I backed into my parents' car. Not bad, but just enough where it was and I was like, oh no. So I pulled back in the car. I pulled back in. My license plate was crumpled, but I kind of straightened it. And I was like, hey, I need to move the car. So I moved their car. I don't say a word. I get home. They don't mention this for like a month. And then one day my mom's like, the hood kind of looks like it's like bent a little bit. And I was like, well, that's crazy. I don't know. And then they said, I went to a high school. Some kids kicked my license plate or whatever. And I don't know if they ever found out it was me that did. I never said a word about it. It was like 3 months had gone by, and I was like, I don't know what happened. But you're like, hey, somebody backed into it in a parking lot. You never know.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that was kind of how I operated as a kid. If I could get away, I did it. But Kiki and Lucas said, my dog Bubby is a miniature schnauzer. Miniature schnauzer club. I like schnauzers. They're cool dogs. And we also got Kiki and Luca for a 5.
And doggy treats. Dog
treats.
I love it.
Oh yeah. Our house is full of dog treats and puppy toys now and all that good stuff.
Nice.
It is.
You know, dogs are such pure little souls, they're just such a beautiful, like sometimes I feel like I don't know, they really are a gift, you know what I'm saying? I love dogs. I absolutely love them.
I didn't grow up, we never had a puppy. We had dogs intermittently. My wife's family, they always had dogs. So for me, this is actually my first time ever having a puppy. So I'm like kind of learning all that stuff. And he's super cute. He's like super cuddly. And just anytime I'm in the room, he like wants to bite my toes and wants me to pick him up. So I'm just like, okay,
that's awesome.
All right, fine.
I love it.
Justin, be the big guy with a little dog. I'll just be that meme that walks around with a tiny little dog.
It's like on Instagram. There's this meme on Instagram about like the dads who the dog they didn't want, and then they end up falling in love with his little dog or whatever,
Oh yeah, that'll end up being me. Justin, what did he say here? Justin Duabe. I'm gonna say Justin Dude because it sounds cool. He goes, I've got an entire wall of Megatrons. Man, that is awesome. He also said he had a really good idea. I think it was him that said they need to do a Starscream Lego.
Yes.
I agree.
That would be awesome.
Dude, we got our daughter the Diagon Alley Lego set.
Oh,
that
nice.
thing is intense. It's like 25 bags, and it's 18 and plus, and she's doing it on her own, like no problems. Like she's got it halfway done. So, but no, hopefully I had a good Christmas, and it was nice to kind of. It was nice to have a day to relax, and then I was like, okay, I need to do some stuff. So
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I just don't do well. I was telling OG, I don't do well being idle. I need things to do, or I kind of lose my mind. But
I'm sure.
I feel that.
Well, let's get on to a story here, and like I said, we're just gonna have a little chill stream here. Oh, Justin here says Dobby, but I'll take a dude. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you how to say your name, but I think Justin the Dude or something like that.
I like that.
No? Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
let's call you the Dude.
Yeah.
And also Lovelo says that was me who said they need to make a Lego Starscream. Okay, well, I'll give you credit because I completely agree. That would be awesome. And there must be a new thing with these sound effects, because it's the first one I've seen that actually has like a soundtrack to it. I was like,
yeah,
okay, all right, I'm down for this. But all right, well, we know about obviously the Stardust Racers incident, and the investigation has been completed where there's no charges going to be filed against anybody. And they basically ruled that the death in this incident with Kevin Rodriguez Zavala was essentially due to pre-existing conditions. The ride reopened. There has been a settlement between Universal and the family, undisclosed amount. And then when that happened, I understand why Universal settled. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, companies do that. But from that, there are now 5 more Stardust Racers lawsuits that have been filed against Universal, all from the same lawyer, and also the same lawyer that filed the lawsuit that popped up after this Stardust Racers incident. So this guy has filed at least 6 lawsuits against Stardust Racers from guests that say they were injured on this. Said each of the 5 lawsuits claims they suffered injuries after riding the attraction. They also allege negligence in the ride's design, operation, maintenance, and control. Each plaintiff in the lawsuits claims that their head shook violently and repeatedly while riding. They allege this is due to improper restraint of their head, neck, and spine, resulting in severe and permanent injuries. They said as a result, the lawsuit includes the following injuries: severe neck pain, paralysis. I would have heard about somebody being paralyzed from this ride, but disability, mental anguish, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life. Attorney Nicholas Bestis filed all these lawsuits. So essentially, you got 5 more lawsuits. They're each the complaint sought $50,000 from the incident earlier that was settled. Do you think Universal settling? And again, it makes sense why they did it, but do you think this is going to pop up even more lawsuits? Like they're just going to see a slew of these lawsuits come in after this whole thing's gone down?
Well, I think so, Jared, because I think that people see kind of like blood in the water, so to speak, right? And the sharks are now swimming through. Like it's and Storybook said it right here. Sure, there are more lawsuits. They heard about the settlement. That's
right.
Exactly it. Like people are trying to get that check, trying to get that money,
they're trying to cash in.
100%, conductor, 100%, and that's what this is about, right? Someone got paralyzed, and we're just now hearing about it. Come on.
Yeah. Well, see, that was my whole thing during the Kevin Zavala, death investigation. And we've talked, we did many videos. Jared, you were one of the main ones that did a lot of videos on the subject. And I said it multiple times. I said, you know what? Why are we hearing about stuff that happened months and months and months ago? There was even an article, I know you don't have it pulled up, but another Epic Universe attraction, it was Ministry of Magic. Apparently a worker was working in the ceiling or something of that in the ride queue, apparently fell or got injured, and he was paralyzed or some crazy nonsense. And it was like months before Epic even opened to the public, and it was during employee previews. It's like, why are we just hearing about this now? It's the same thing with this. It's like, really, you're going to sit there and tell me all of a sudden now all these lawsuits come out? It's like, come on. I maybe I'm not getting the full picture here, but me and OG know it best. Out here in Los Angeles, I could tell you right now, you can dial 1-800-LAWYER, and those guys are like sharks in the water. They would love to sue anybody and anything for anything at any time. So you can't tell me it takes a year or maybe even 8 months later to file a lawsuit. Give me a break.
Oh, I agree. Well, and I think too, when you look at Ben Crump out there saying all the stuff he was saying for like that, what was it, almost 3 or 4 week period of just having press conferences, alleging all these things. I had the feeling at the time, I think this is also what they wanted to try and further their case. And I think Ben Crump is an ambulance chaser, but I think he got the outcome he wanted, which is to make a bunch of noise. And that eventually, even though I don't think Universal did anything wrong, they settle because it just becomes such a spectacle. And I think that is exactly what they wanted. And, listen, you don't judge a book by its cover, but I'm just going to show you. This is the lawyer, Nicholas Spestis. I'm not making any claims here. I'm just saying I think I've seen him on Better Call Saul, perhaps. I don't know. He seems like he might fit the bill of somebody who maybe files a whole bunch of lawsuits to get some money. Because this guy, again, this is at least 6 lawsuits from this guy that it's, I would imagine, contacting people and, saying, hey, do you want to sue? We got a bunch of lawsuits going. Just try. Because if you're suing for 50, you'll clearly settle probably for 10, 15, 20. I mean, I'm sure that's how they're thinking that Universal will handle this. I'm wondering if Universal has to get to the point where they just start fighting these, because if they don't, if they're worried about just an onslaught of more of these coming in.
Yeah, no, you're right. If you just settle with all these, then you put the message out there that just make the complaint and we'll send you a check. And Universal becomes an ATM, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, some of these you're going to have to fight back a little bit and say, hey, no, we're going to draw the line here. We did nothing wrong. This is it. You know what? They're going to have to do that, because I feel like if you just keep settling, you're going to have more and more and more. This is never going to end.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you look at it that way too, it's like how much time has gone by. And then even if it's going to cost you, a lot of times Disney and Universal settle these things because of all the lawyer fees.
Sure.
But if you don't nip this in the bud, you're just got, especially this one guy. I mean, apparently this guy's, I don't know how much money he's making off these, but clearly he sees a payday and just going after these type of lawsuits here. Even Disney had some. I did a video earlier today. There was a lawsuit. There's a woman suing Disney because she fell on the trolley tracks on Main Street. And then there's a woman who's suing Disney because she fell by the pool, and they think it was because there was a wet substance, maybe water.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Like, oh, Lord.
We're suing because the pool area is wet and we fall. I'm just like,
come on.
Okay. And I would actually love to see the amount of lawsuits, like the ones that they get, just have to be comical on some level, of just people for this reason right here, just looking for a payday, filing a lawsuit because something. And some lawsuits are going to be legitimate, and some are just going to be people that just want a payday. But I do understand why Universal settled with the family of the victim of Stardust Racers, because there's a lot of stuff there. Like, you don't want that to drag out. You do have Ben Crump who could go out there saying a bunch of stuff, and then you don't want the optics of going to court against that family. So it makes sense there. On these other ones, though, I think they may have to try and get a little aggressive with some of these.
No, I completely agree. And I'm not a lawyer. I'm not law enforcement. So maybe this is a thing, maybe it's not. But just as it's a crime to report a false thing, right? Like, if you report something false to the police, that's a crime, right?
Yep.
I think there should be equally as strict rules or laws in place with frivolous lawsuits.
especially with this guy, like Jared said, six times that we know of coming from one lawyer. It's like, okay, this is getting a little egregious here. Come on,
a little bit,
real,
a little bit.
I imagine they see the letterhead from him. They're just like, what? How many is this now? Like 12? Like, who knows? There could be more. I mean, who knows with this guy? I mean, I do want to know the behind the scenes. Like, how does this go? Does he just start contacting anybody who's been to Universal? And there's, you probably had like how many thousands of people, and you got 5 extra people that said, yeah, I got hurt on it. And oh yeah, by the way, I think I was paralyzed. Like, you didn't say anything. Like, no, I just went on with my day. No big deal.
I kind of wish they would allow like a GoPro or something on there when I'm there, because I would love to just rides, like dedicate a day, because I'm going to be at Epic. We're going to try to aim for 3 days. On that 3rd day, I would love just to ride Stardust Racers all freaking day long with a GoPro and prove to all these frivolous lawsuit people that love just suing theme parks, especially Epic, and prove, hey, there's nothing wrong with this attraction. Maybe you just shouldn't be riding it, and just make a statement.
Yeah.
Well said.
That's a valid point. Storybook Sorcerer says he is likely scouting Reddit for people commenting they had a headache after riding it. That's honestly,
probably
maybe what he's doing. Because you're talking about like people getting a headache, and then we're gonna, it's always funny when you see mental anguish. Because I'm not saying there's not mental anguish and things happen, but it's like, what do you mean by mental anguish? Like, which part is the most?
I think most of the mental anguish occurred with paying for all the tickets and stuff. I think that's where most of the mental anguish occurred, not on the
I've
ride.
been through mental anguish waiting in lines. I mean, I would say that is mental anguish on some level, but that's just me. But
100%. Real quick, Jared, I just want to say thank you to Kiki and Luca for gifting an OG55 membership. Appreciate you, Kiki and Luca. Really cool of you. Very, very cool.
Yes, sir. They also did have a dude nicknamed Nicholas Asbestos.
Yeah,
I mean, he's gonna start running commercials here soon about like, were you injured on Stardust Racers? And that's the only thing. Like I've said from the whole time, you know, the idea that Universal and Mack rides were created and are operating a known like danger to guests is
for sure
laughable. Like there's so many reasons as to why. Like there's so much money on the line, but I do wonder if. At what point, if these continue to pile up, do they then have to make some sort of change or forced to because they're just like they keep getting these lawsuits or something like that? That's the only thing I could see if anything changing with this ride is just due to a lot of this litigation and people just looking to make a quick buck off of this tragedy, and then that's when you would see changes maybe. But even then, like I don't know.
Personally, I think the only thing that would stop the lawsuits, OG, maybe you guys would agree with me, is probably the restraint system. If they change that, I think the lawsuits would stop. Because then at that point you're locked in. You can't move even your neck. Basically, you're like locked in place. All you could do is look forward, and that's it.
Yeah. No, Justin I think I got that right. He said at least they're not suing Doc Brown Enterprises because their coaster has a flux capacitor on it.
That's true.
I mean, they didn't check if it has a uranium. I mean, that could be a danger to people.
Yeah. Well, the question is was the speed limit 65 and they were going to 88? I don't know.
Exactly.
They could have been breaking. I mean, that's true. They gotta have like a radar detector out there to make sure, like giving them tickets. 7H John says Jared has ridden it. Ask him how he thinks it is. I have not ridden it. My wife has. And my wife, she loves coasters, and she likes the ride. She likes Velocicoaster better, but whenever this incident happened, she even mentioned, she's like, it likely would have been on that first hill because it's got a lot of G forces to it.
That's sure.
Apparently, that is what happened on that ride. It's like it's got a lot more. It doesn't go like upside down as much as say Velocicoaster, but it just has a lot of stuff like pushing you. But they tell you to like brace yourself and really like you got to really hold your head in place because it does have a lot of G forces. So, you know. And a lot of coasters have stuff, but I saw that pop up and I was like, from the same guy, we got 5 lawsuits, now 6. Like that seems kind of crazy. But
well, and isn't there like an expectation of, don't you sort of inherit some level of risk with any of these things? Like anytime you get in a car, there's a certain level of risk.
Oh yeah.
That, you're not promised to not get in a car accident, or you're not promised that it's going to be okay. Same with a roller coaster. I mean, this thing is throwing you around. I mean, there's a certain level of risk that you sort of have to accept when you get on this thing. And, for it to be completely 100% fail safe and you're no problems will ever occur is unrealistic,
Yes.
Well, it's like if you walked into a gym and you've never worked out and you load up 500 pounds on the squat bar, not a great idea. Like it's on you if you want to do that. I don't know who you could sue in this situation, but like, well, that's kind of on you. You did rack up 500 pounds and put it on your back, and then whatever happened was kind of your fault. But
exactly,
it's and it's like the one lawsuit about the people slipping in they're talking about on Main Street and also slipping by the pool, that there was not adequate signage about the risk. And I'm like, so are we now getting to the point where now if it rains that Disney and Universal have to run out and put a bunch of signage up that says like, it's raining, you could slip, water is wet, everybody. Like it's just, this is why Pop-Tarts have warning labels on them now, is because people didn't realize Pop-Tarts might be hot when they come out of the toaster.
Well, no, 100%, Jared. It's like, come on. It's like, the ground is wet. I mean, you don't know as a human being on this planet for how many years that causes a slip. It's slippery. I mean, you need Disney to tell you that? That's crazy.
Oh, I know.
But it all comes down to, people being sue happy. It happens all over the place. Even commercial stores like Costco and Walmart and Target, you hear it all the time. Like unfortunately, we had this young lady, probably in her mid 30s, maybe late 30s. She literally walked into one of our produce coolers, walked in there, slipped on the strawberry, right? I'm not even kidding about this. Slipped on the strawberry, fell on her back. So 911 got called. She got carted away. Literally, I kid you not, the next day, we had to come in at, I think it was like 11 p.m. the previous night. So the day the incident occurred, we had to come in at 11. We all, like, there was probably like 30 of us, and we stocked produce. We got it all stocked. Then we had to close it off because then the lady that fell on the strawberry, her lawyer, and I think her mom or something walked in. And I kid you not, we're all kind of like off in the distance watching this happen because we had our GM there. We had someone from corporate and a couple other managers. I kid you not, you would not even tell she fell on the ground and slipped on her back because she's like taking a photo op. She must have taken like 30 pictures. I'm like,
oh gosh,
right, really? You're saying you have back pain, but yet you could stand there for 45 minutes taking 30, 40 pictures. Give me a break.
Well, yeah, no, it's crazy. Like I actually, like 3 years ago, I was at my local Costco, and they have these big cardboard boxes with a bunch of watermelons in them. You know, conductor, right? But like usually when it's full, it's not a problem because you just reach over, you grab one, and you just take it. But it was low, like people were buying them, and so you really had to go in there and grab this watermelon. So I went in there and I grabbed this one, and I actually ended up tearing my hip labrum.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I tore my labrum, dude, and I went for an MRI, the whole thing. But dude, that was on me. Like I reached in, I should have done better with it. I didn't, and it was fine. I didn't sit there and sue Costco and the whole thing. It's like it's just ridiculous. People like have to like learn that, like, you know what, life happens, and it's not always the fault of the establishment that you're in. That shit. I mean, it happened to me, and it was my fault. It was the way I reached in there and got it. I shouldn't have done it the way I did it, but I did it. You know. But you know, it's just crazy, and people are always looking for a buck, and that's the problem. Is it's constantly rewarded, and that's why it constantly happens.
Absolutely. Well, I had an incident. I didn't actually get hurt. I'm still shocked to this day. I did not. This was like 2 or 3 years ago. We were at Disney World. We were at Caribbean Beach, and it was when our son was like 3, and he said he wanted to go down one of the water slides, and he got there, and then he didn't want to do it. So I had those slide sandals on. So I'm like going to try and get him. Like I was kind of in a bit of a rush because like there's a bunch of people around. He was holding up the whole line. So I'm like, all right, buddy, come on. And I didn't really even know how it happened. All I remember, and mind you, I am 6'3", like 230-ish. Next thing I know, all I know is my feet are above my head, and I just crashed down. I don't know how. I still to this day don't know how it happened. And I was like, what in the world? So I get up and like I maybe it was drunk. I got up and I grabbed him and I go to the side, and I had slipped so much. What had happened, I slipped through my sandals and they slid up my shin. So I slipped all the way through my slides. So a lifeguard comes over and she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. And she's like, well, do you want to talk to somebody? I'm like, no, I think I'm okay. So I go sit down, and I was fine. Like I wasn't hurt. I wasn't even really sore the next day, but I had to cut my slides off because I couldn't even fit them back down my foot. Like I don't know how the physics of it all happened, but my wife saw it and she was like, I saw your feet flying in the air. And she's like, I didn't know what happened. I'm like, I don't know what happened. But even if I got hurt, it was my fault. Like I went in there. You're not supposed to have slide sandals on. I was kind of in a rush, and I was trying to get him out of the way. And like, it's just one of those things where I understand things happen that you're not expecting to happen. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm also the one that went in there with sandals on than I should have. And somehow it's not every day you see a 6'3" guy just flying through the air with his leg. Anytime your legs are above your head, you know you're like, that's not good. No.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100%.
It's like that moment where you're just like, you're gonna wonder how I got in this position. Like, I have no idea. Yeah. So it's but even if like you said, even if I did get hurt, I wouldn't have sued. I'd just been like, I was really dumb and got hurt at a pool. I would not want that broadcasted. That's what happened either. I'd be like, let's just keep this on the hush. I got hurt lifting weights. That's what I did. That's how I got hurt. That's gonna be my story.
I was actually joking with my doctor when I got I tore my hip labrum. I was like, Doc, I wish I had a sexier story to tell you. I wish I could go like full Tupac. I got shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, nope, lifting a watermelon at Costco.
You know, out on these streets, it's tough, man. You got rivalries. Like I didn't, people came up on me, and I was getting a watermelon at Costco. I don't want anybody to know about it.
Yeah.
I get that.
Hey, the watermelon rolled up on me. That's what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
Dang right. Rogue Attraction, what's up, Rogue? He said, I wonder how many suits Disney has had over the years. Dude, I would love to see the lawsuits that come in. Like, they probably just have to laugh at half of them. Just on a daily basis, just how many they get.
There has to be a lot, Rogue. I mean, I know out here in California for Disneyland Resort, they got rid of our Jolly Trolley in Toontown because of the lawsuit. So there must have been a significant amount of people with that. Our Tom Sawyer Island is like lawsuit proof now. There's like all kinds of stuff to prevent people from falling and things like that. So I'm sure it happens so much. We don't hear about a lot of it, but
yeah,
Oh,
it is kind of the culture that is true. Well, speaking of, let's talk about this next one. We talked about this one before, and I'm curious if anything's changed with you guys.
Okay.
This is like the 15th story, I think, in the past 6 months that apparently Josh D'Amaro is continuing to build momentum as he is going to be the next Disney CEO. And this came from a new poll from Bloomberg that puts Disney Experiences chairman Josh D'Amaro at the top of the list of candidates to become Disney's next CEO. According to Bloomberg, the poll received more than 700 responses from industry experts. Among the question was, who will be the CEO of Disney in 2027? The Bloomberg poll asked industry experts, and they said among the 700 responses, Parks chief Josh D'Amaro received 212 votes, or about 30% of the total. Second place was Dana Walden with 22%. And so basically the whole article is about how, continuing momentum to build, that Walden seemed to be losing ground. Says at least publicly in previous iterations of the Bloomberg poll, Walden has enjoyed the top spots every single time except for this past one. It says, in fact, D'Amaro wasn't even in the top 3 in 2024. But since then, D'Amaro's theme park division has continued to post record revenues. So basically, it's all alluding to the fact that there's a lot of momentum for Josh D'Amaro being CEO.
Well,
we've all been saying this for months. Like, I don't think at this point, I don't even know where I put the chance. I always put him at like a 1% chance that it's not D'Amaro as the next CEO.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you. And the fact that he wasn't even on the list back in 2024, and now he's the leading dude. Like, I mean, look, I have a lot of critiques about Josh, but I will say this: the way he's maneuvered this whole CEO race has been masterful. And really, like, Dana Walden was the favorite, and she is a brilliant woman. I mean, she really, really is. But the way Josh has maneuvered these waters, I mean, and it's been good thing after good thing. He did the Abu Dhabi announcement, which was massive for Wall Street, right? He's done all kinds of stuff with the parks, what have you, the gaming side of things, which is also the future, I think. I just think he's navigated it in a much better way. I think Dana, too, hasn't been public-facing enough. Like, she's kind of hiding away. And then she's had a lot of black eyes, right? She had the Jimmy Kimmel problem. She had the thing with Kamala and the debates. Remember that whole thing? So she's been putting out fires, and Josh is out here stacking wins. I just, and to be fair, I want to just really kind of emphasize this. To be fair, I do think Bob Iger is meddling in Dana Walden's stuff because the Hollywood end of it is more his thing. So I think there's more of a legacy grab when it comes to like the Hollywood side with Dana and all that, which I do believe is messing her up, because I do believe the Dana that we saw with Fox is not the same Dana we're seeing at Disney. And there's a reason for that. Right.
Yeah.
So I do believe there's a Bob Iger meddling issue in here. And again, this is just me speculating. I could be wrong. Bob Iger, if you're in the chat, let me know. but I do believe that is a factor here where Josh is theme park.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have the Iger isn't as concerned with that world. It's not his Hollywood buddies or anything like that. So Josh can largely do what he wants to do and get it done. Dana really can't without her boss looking over her shoulder, like that whole Jimmy Kimmel thing. Yeah. How much of that was Dana and how much of that was Bob Iger? I don't even know, dude. I really don't.
You're not wrong. And to be fair, I've had the same questions about, I do think there's more C-suite involvement in the parks now than there has been historically. We just don't know how much. But I do think Iger is kind of a meddler. But I do agree with you. It is much more with the movie and Hollywood side. Because he's been talked about like doing, giving notes on movies. I'm like, why? Like, I just don't feel like that's a great thing for a CEO to be doing. Either you trust your people or you don't. Exactly. But I do agree with you. But what do you say? What do you say, conductor?
So it's interesting because I'm gonna kind of backtrack what you guys were saying in 2024. You know, tomorrow was on the bottom of the list, but since 2024, we're seeing it nonstop. That wherever Iger goes, tomorrow goes. So that was the biggest hint for me right there. Then you know you got Josh. I don't know the way he loves being in the public. He loves being in front of the cameras and the press and doing all these announcements, especially at D23. I think it's going to be great for the Walt Disney Company. The only thing that scares me above everything else, I have my doubts on him trying to handle not just the theme park and entertainment and that aspect of the company, but also the studio side and the financial side of the company. That's where I kind of insist that a dual CEO position needs to be created for this go around, because as much as Tomorrow has been around with the Walt Disney Company, I just don't think, and to be fair, I just don't think he can handle both sides. I think if there was another person, a studio person, whether it was Dana Walden or someone else that is really heavily experienced in the studio aspect, I think it would benefit the Walt Disney Company ginormously, because then Tomorrow can still focus on the parks, the experiences, the cruise lines, and all that type of stuff, while his other CEO can handle the studio side, the financial aspects, and everything he might not be so good at, which is not a horrible thing. Because the reason why, you know, we look at the last two past CEOs, I'm not counting Chapek, I'm talking about Iger, and then I'm talking about Eisner. They were both studio people. They had experience with that. They even had experience kind of a little bit. I think Iger more than Eisner is with the theme park aspect a little bit. So they kind of had a running start from the get. Tomorrow, I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens, but what freaks me out even more is the mere fact that Iger is still going to be around for a year during the transition. And this go around, are they going to allow him to have, you know, have power on the board like he once did with Chapek? I hope they don't. I hope the board votes to limit his influence, so what happened with Chapek does not happen again with Tomorrow.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said, conductor, because that isn't a huge issue with Bob Iger. He has a hard time letting go. You know, that's a big thing. Let the next person, it's probably going to be Josh, but let Josh do, let Josh enact Josh's vision. Don't meddle. I do believe Chapek would probably have done better if not for that Bob Iger element involved, you know? So, but in terms of Dana Walden, though, as like, you know, the co-CEO, or in a position of higher power, maybe like the president role or something, I do support that overall, because I do agree with you, conductor, that I do think that the studio is going through a massive seismic shift right now, whether it be AI, especially AI, and then even with streaming and like theatrical is sort of a melting ice cube. It's sort of dying on the vine a little bit. I do think it is important to have a studio person higher up on that food chain. But Jared, you actually brought up a great point on a recent show. I forgot if it was my channel or your channel, but like you brought up a great point though. It's like, let's just say you put Dana as that president role, but she really wanted that CEO role. Is she going to sabotage Josh? So it's a little tough, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's corporate. It's a corporate world. It's dog eat dog. It is kind of, you know.
Yeah. And I agree with conductor. I think a dual CEO setup would be best, but a dual CEO setup requires two people that are essentially like they're in a marriage. Like those people have to be like, we're on the same page. We trust each other inherently. And when you got people already competing with each other, I'm not saying it couldn't work, but I do think there's lots of questions in the corporate sphere about that. And I think at this point, I feel like there would have been more potential messaging from Disney that this could be a possibility, that they would be looking at that. I just don't feel like, and it's not unheard of in the modern day. I mean, Netflix has a co-CEO. Now Comcast has it. There are companies that have it, and it works very well.
Sure.
But Okay. Hold on 1 second. Just shut the water off on the side.
No, but to your point, Jared, the Walt Disney Company started out as a dual CEO. You had Roy handling the studio, and you had him handling the studio and the financial aspect, and then you had Walt handling the theme park entertainment aspect. So going back on this is not an insult. It's more of keeping the Walt Disney Company stable than it is seeing it go down further hill than it needs to be. Because you're right, OG. The studio aspect of things is very, very shaky right now. It's very rocky. The last couple movies they've come out with, not minus Avatar, but like Tron, Fantastic Four, then the live remake of Snow White, tanked horribly. So there's all sorts of issues on the studio side. So that's why I think going back to the dual CEO would not be such a horrible thing.
I completely agree with you on that. I wouldn't mind it at all. Comcast Universal is going into that. You know what I'm saying? So Netflix, massively successful with that model. Disney was born on that model. Like a 100-plus-year-old company was founded and created on that model. But Kiki and Luca here, thank you so much for the super chat. Kiki and Luca, we do appreciate you. Life is a competition, Dana. Don't be a wussy. Yeah, no, Dana needs to step it up. And I've been very bullish on Dana for years. I think that, look, here's the thing. Dana, for Dana to be as progressive as she is, not to bring politics into this, but I do think it does say a lot about how good of an executive she really is.
Yeah.
For her to be a progressive, friends with Kamala Harris, very progressive, very left leaning, and for someone like Rupert Murdoch to be like, you know what, she's got the goods. She was great to work with. That says a lot. Sure. Because it shows that she was able to separate herself politically from the job that needed to be done. That's why I do believe Bob Iger is meddling, because she was able to do this stuff under Fox.
Yeah.
Now it's getting a little bit weird, but anyway. But yeah, you're right, Kiki and Luca. I mean, she's got to step it up. I mean, she's not. Daddy Josh is really like just lapping her at this point, and he's very charismatic. But I think Dana has underestimated how much you need to get out there and be more public facing and really sell it. This is the Disney CEO. This isn't like, CEO for Staples or like FedEx. Like, you really have to sell this thing kind of to the public, to the fans even, because that's what is expected of Disney. So we'll see, but I don't think it's going to be Dana. I mean, she might be a co-CEO or maybe a president or something like that, but I think it's Josh's to lose at this point,
Well, I brought up this article, and before I do that, I was going to say, you guys can
I know, I saw him.
This is Theo.
There's Theo. Yeah.
We love Theo.
Sorry, the toilet was leaking. My wife was like, I don't know what's going on. I just turn the water. So I had to turn the water off. No, I brought this article up because I feel like it's been reported Dana Walden doesn't appreciate being pit against colleagues as race to see who replaces Bob Iger heats up. I can appreciate that, but it's also what people say that aren't probably going to win.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's just me being ultra competitive, but I just feel like the signaling is already there that she's not going to get it. Now, one thing I will say, I think the risk of Iger sticking around is almost non-existent, which might sound crazy because James Gorman is running the show here, and he ran a very successful succession plan for JP Morgan. And I think with him in charge, I do think you're going to cut out a lot of the potential Iger stuff from happening, and I don't believe he is going to relinquish chairman of the board to Iger, because that's what he was last time Chapek was involved. So if you've got Iger just I still don't like the fact he's going to hang around, because that does create a little bit of a weird dynamic, because it's like, well, if Josh really wanted to come in here and change a bunch of stuff, do you really feel comfortable doing that from the guy that you just took his job? It creates a weird dynamic.
It does.
But if you can just, okay, here's the rope, show you around, and Iger's out of the picture within a decent amount of time, I do think that is the best case scenario. I don't think Iger will come back. He's too old. And if he came back, you would just be doing this process all over again, because the main thing they would say is, well, who's the next CEO going to be? So you'd be right back in the same situation you're in right now, as almost like a lame duck CEO. And so I just don't think Iger, I think, does need to go. I think most people agree with that. And I just think that you just need to pick whoever's going to be picked and let them have the opportunity, which does carry risk, but give them the opportunity to be able to, implement their vision for what they want to do. Iger got to do it for 20 some odd years. Yeah. If it's going to be Josh, he gets the chance to do it for whatever his reign's going to be.
No, I agree. And Disney, if you're listening by any chance, I mean, now is the time to kind of announce this, because all eyes are on Netflix and WB and Paramount and all this other stuff going on. And that's, I mean, Disney has been kind of like the epicenter of drama for so many years. Like, and this is where the Disney PR thing, like, I mean, I'm not a genius. I'm not like a PR expert, but come on, you have all eyes over there right now, distracted. Like, now is your time to move in, announce your CEO, and get as least amount of drama as possible with this announcement, but.
Well, and to your point too, like, the Walden pick, I think, would be viewed as political, whether that's fair or not. I think it would be. But one thing I've been saying for a while that is a really a pro for DMRO, for where I think even Iger has stated they want to get more out of some of these culture battles and things. I don't think anybody has any clue about of DMRO's political leanings. I've never heard a thing from him. And so if you are looking at somebody to come in who's not viewed politically, that is just going to try and run the company, I think he gives you the potential for like a fresh slate. And be able to steer it in whichever direction. And he could, listen, we don't know what he would do. There's worries about him on the movie side. But again, it's a very different environment now than it was even 10 years ago. Whereas the theme parks now make the most money. There's a bunch of questions when it comes to studios and streaming. So it's not like all that stuff is just like this golden goose that it once was either. Yeah. And so I think that's all the reasons do point to Josh. And like I said, I think it'd be like a 1% chance at this point that it's not him, and it would be an utter shock. But Gorman also is setting up where they're trying not to lose anybody. So I think Walden probably gets a promotion, as do a lot of the other people. They get raises, and then you have a full group of people that move forward and not having a whole bunch of people jumping ship and bringing new people in and all that stuff. Whereas that is your probably best case scenario for a smooth transition. No,
well said. Well said. And actually, it was just reported on the other day that Disney's like the only studio that hit $6 billion.
Yeah,
I think for this year. So that's good for Bergman and promoting him or whatever they're going to do for him for not getting, because Bergman he's not going to be CEO. I can tell you that right now.
Him and Pittario both have been like, I'm like, I like my job. I don't even think they want it at this point.
No. Well, and Pittario was always kind of a weird choice for me anyway, for like, he's the ESPN guy. I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't really judge because Bob Iger was the weather guy at ABC too. So who knows?
Good point.
But Pittario was always kind of like this, like really like far-fetched idea in a lot of ways, but
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see how it all shakes out, man. It's interesting. I love this stuff. I mean, this stuff is really, it matters so much, you guys. Like who they pick and all that really does matter in terms of like the content, the park stuff that we get. So we have to, as fans, I know a lot of fans aren't into the corporate drama, but I mean, as just a fan of the product and the parks and all that stuff, it does matter. It's going to impact you in some way, so it's good to keep an eye on it,
Jared, if you
undoubtedly,
if you can bring up Kiki and Luca's super chat for the membership.
Oh, where did it go?
Resolution, yeah.
So I'm gonna go first since he posted on my stream, and shout out to Kiki and Luca. He's been on fire tonight. Oh, yeah. My New Year's resolution is gonna be, quite frankly, to exercise a lot more and to hang out with friends a lot more, especially OG, because you have to see this guy at Universal. If you've ever seen this guy at Universal, this guy's awesome. And I can't wait to hang out with Jared at the park, because that's going to be an experience in itself. I think I'm just going to be laughing the entire time. I don't think I'll be able to speak.
It's it's usually really chill, but I think I have more commentary walking around than I realize sometimes. My wife always jokes.
That's even good. Yeah, that's even better, because I'm probably going to stick out like a sore thumb. People, East Coasters are going to be like, oh God, this guy, I could tell he's a West Coaster by a mile. Oh,
well,
God.
Also, like, how tall are you? You're like 6'4"?
No, I'm 6'3", so I'm the same.
Okay. So we're both, there are going to be two tall dudes walking around a theme park already. Like,
yeah, exactly. No, conductor, you're a tall dude, man. You're a tall dude. You don't really know based on like the channel stuff.
No.
Yeah, because you sit down and you're kind of low in your seat, but when you meet conductor, it's like, whoa, he's really tall.
It is kind of funny because I think people, you're like sitting down, you're in a camera, but people get an idea of whether like somebody's tall or not or short.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys. Like I know with me, most people tell me that I'm taller than they expected, which I don't know if I don't know what people thought I was short. I don't really know. I don't know how tall people thought I was, but it's always funny on that. But
I like Remy D's comment. Bring that up.
OG's resolution is to ride Hollywood Drift.
Yes,
there you go.
Remy D, I'm working on that. I'm working on that.
100%. Yeah, I'm 6 foot. I'm 6 foot, but I'm probably 6'3" with my hair. So
yes,
you know,
oh, you do have an advantage with the hair. That's true.
Yeah,
you got any New Year's resolutions, OG?
You know, it's funny. Not really. I mean, I just kind of want to I've been eating better. I just want to continue on that. You know, I just also want to really continue to improve the content. I always strive to do better and better and better and better. And I want to continue to do that with the channel. I want to get Mimi Fan on a bar chat. No, okay. Well, hey, if she wants to come on, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. No, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much about it though. Just continue to eat well and just surround myself with great people. Go to the parks more with you guys. You know, you guys are always a ton of fun. I gotta finally meet Jared in person. You know, that's another thing.
Oh,
I will say, I don't do New Year's resolutions. I'm kind of one of these people that I'm very. Handing off the puppy. I don't do New Year's resolutions. I kind of I don't think there's any magic about the changing of the date because I used to be a personal trainer and I would see people constantly. They're like, new year, new me, and they start out strong, and by like the end of January, they're just not doing anymore. And I always tell people, but I was like, that's great to have the motivation, have a plan, have some goals, but don't just rely on just the new year that anything's gonna be different. But
by far.
I do have goals every year that I do. I would say I think a goal this year is like I do want to meeting you, conductor, hanging out with OG. Like those would be fun things to do.
Yeah.
But yeah. In terms of just in general, like I'm always wanting to just like improve, make more money, do all the stuff with business, like work out, keep doing that stuff. But I don't really have like resolutions. I just never have really done that. I tend to kind of get mid-year resolutions. Like I'll kind of run through and all of a sudden June hits and I'm like, you know what? I want to do this. Like I kind of tend to go like the other way many times. But,
sure.
But I agree with you, Jared. Like I'm kind of the same way. I'm kind of all year. I'm kind of always in that mode.
Yeah.
Where I'm like wanting to do better. And it's like, I don't really have, like I started eating better like several months ago, long before the new year. I just kind of do it. And I don't really think about, oh, now it's January 1st. Now I really got to do it. I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'm just going to do it anyway,
Yeah. And I think one more thing I want to add to mine is to create more members only content. I'm sure OG has some ideas, and no, I will not take my shirt off. So don't even ask on that one.
The day stream?
No.
Conductor, that's a moneymaker right there, bro. Come on.
How many super chats to have a bidet stream is the question you need to ask for 2026?
No, that's not even a question. So don't even go there.
There's no number?
No, there's no bidet talk, no bidet. Don't even go there. Okay. No. Okay.
What about OnlyFans? No, for our female watchers?
I'm not answering that. I plead the fifth.
Listen, you don't have to go OnlyFans. You go Thirst Trap. You can kind of show some, you start working out. You show a little side pose. You can do a few.
Oh
things
yeah, like that's so much better. Yeah, sure it is.
I mean, there's levels to it, I guess. On some
all bad levels. From start
to
finish.
Well, and Haunted Mermaid said Bowser knows all. He does. He's sitting right there on the bed. He knows everything.
He does.
The things Bowser has seen, the things he's seen.
He just shakes his head in the night, just like, this guy. I've just.
Yeah. Well, he probably cleanses his eyes. I don't know. Maybe he puts a helmet on like Boba Fett over here. I don't know what he does.
Maybe. Yeah, you can do that.
No, but I want to give a big shout out because I'm going to head off. But
I was going to say you got to hop out of here real quick.
Yeah, I got to hop off. But I want to give a big shout out to Haunted Mermaid 13, one of our newest mods on the Theme Park Conductor. Also, my good friend Jeff. He just started the channel not too long ago, probably a couple months ago. His name in the chat is Magical Hops. So definitely go check him out on YouTube. He's just starting out. Could always you know, love the support. So definitely go check him out and check out his videos. I want to thank Remy D, Kiki, and Luca for sure. Been on fire tonight with the super chats and the memberships, and to you guys, Jared, Capture the Magic, and Orange Go 55. Always great talking about the theme parks, and I can't wait to have you guys on my channel. And you know, just on the other note, before I head off, is we're you know, as many of you probably already know, Jared, I know you did a video on it already. OG, you did a video. We've talked about it, about losing Adam, and it's been a very difficult time. So you know, we're all dealing with that because Adam was truly inspirational, and my heart and prayers still go out to his memory, to his family, to his friends. And I know I guess they're arranging some type of celebration of life that's going to be live streamed. So when we do hear more information, I think it's going to come from Justin Scard. It looks like he's going to be putting out that information. Definitely go check that out and show your love and support, because I can only imagine what his family is going through right now. It's probably the most horrific thing, especially during the holiday season. So it's a bad time. But fellas, again, I'm Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on YouTube and Blue Sky at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on X at Theme Conductor, Instagram at Theme_Park_Conductor, TikTok at Theme Park Conductor 1, and YouTube YouTube every Sunday at 5 or 7 p.m. for Conductor Sunday live stream, where we have amazing guests like Orange Go 55, Jared from Capture the Magic, and so many others as we break down Universal and Disney news. We speculate and we talk rumors. And on top of that, Jared, watch out for that puppy. Make sure it doesn't eat your shoes, because they'll do that. So
he's already chewing on stuff. Yeah, I'm already.
Going through
on the floor. Before you go, I was going to tell you, I agree with all the stuff you said. When you go, don't hit end stream, because I think it'll end the whole thing, since you're dual streaming. And then I think you can end it maybe in your YouTube studio, just because I've done that before, and I think it might end the whole thing if you hit it on your end, I think. But if you just exit out of it, I think, and then you could just end it on your side of the studio, I believe.
I don't know how to do that, so maybe I'll just keep it going.
We're not going to go that much longer. So if it's the case, I just want to warn you about that. But no, I agree with anything you said there. And the whole Adam the Woo stuff was terrible right before Christmas for sure. But we'll let you get out of here. Thank you for being here. Definitely appreciate it. And we will we'll catch you soon. And we'll have some antics in Florida sometime soon.
Absolutely.
I believe it. I got to watch out for you. That's all I'm going to say. See you guys.
All right, man.
There we go, Conductor. Love you, man. The Adam the Woo stuff. I've actually been watching a lot of like his close friends, like Provost and even Sean Rosell. I saw a video for him, and like a bunch of people have been really like coming out and like doing these videos. It's hard to watch, man. I mean, the impact Adam has made on our community and how everyone has sort of come together in like this kind of like this grieving process is pretty remarkable. I mean, it's wild to me. I mean, really, Adam really did kind of pave the way for a lot of what we all do here on YouTube with the 100%. Disney stuff, and it's been rough. It's been really, I still, even days later, I still really can't really register, like, is it even real? Like, what's going on, Well,
especially a guy that does like daily vlogs. Like, people you see him every single day, and then all of a sudden he's in. And like, I'd made a video just basically out of respect, because I don't even know if we'd be doing this live stream if it wasn't for guys like him that did stuff before us. That he'd been doing YouTube for how long? He been doing YouTube? Like 13 years or more.
Yeah, it's crazy how long he's been doing it. It's a long time.
And so just the impact that he had, and like I don't watch a lot of vlogs, but he always seemed very chill and just cool. And like I did see his last one he had with the Grinch. I don't know if you saw that last one he did.
I did.
That was actually a really cool vlog. It was just like, and he always came across as like really laid back and relaxed, and just like didn't get into like the hyperbolic stuff that people would do a lot of times. And it is really sad. It's funny enough, on that video I did, his dad left a comment that said, like, thanks for, and he said, like, from Adam's dad. And I was like, is it really? And so I looked at his YouTube channel. So I was like, hey, I'm really sorry. And I can't even imagine going through that right before Christmas. Like, you're planning Christmas dinner and now it's just totally different. So his thoughts and prayers to their family.
100%. Well said. No, and yeah, it's sad. And from the content creation side, one of the things that I really loved about Adam was a lot of times, and this is no secret, but like a lot of times in like the Disney parks content, creation space, right? I mean, a lot of it seems very like, kind of for the camera kind of stuff. I'll say it in that way. That's the nicest way I can put it, right? But Adam never felt, I always felt watching Adam, it was the real deal. Like, he's an authentic dude. And he's, like you were saying, like, he doesn't really like the hyperbole and the, over the top stuff wasn't there. He was like, hey, you're just gonna come along with me. We're gonna do this road trip. I'm over here at this location. I'm over here at that location. He was a real dude. And I think that's why it's hitting people, because like we all felt like we really knew him on that personal level, because his content was just that good, where you came along with Adam on these trips, and it wasn't like this overly sugary or overly cheesy thing. It was just like, it's just Adam and his camera, and he's just doing his thing. And I met him a few times. Actually, the first time I met him was actually at Universal. And I was walking past him. I'm like, Adam Wu, what's up, dude? And he spent like 10 or 15 minutes with me. And that's kind of rare in this space, where you have someone that big. A lot of times, like, hey man, how you doing? And they keep walking, right?
Right.
He didn't do that. We stopped, we talked. He's like, hey, what's your name? Oh yeah, I think I've seen you on Instagram. Da, 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 da. And we were just talking and kind of shooting the shit. I'm like, this is a legit dude. I got great vibes. And then I met him a few times after that, and he just, it's horrible, man. And way too young. I think that he was only like 51.
51. Yeah. It was funny. I saw a lot of the comments about people saying the same thing. Like, you're right. I mean, not everybody, but there are certain creators that it's human nature. You get very big headed. You're a big deal. You don't want to take, like, a lot of times it turns into like, what can you do for me sort of relationships. Yeah. And I just put the impression from people that knew him that like, that just wasn't how he operated, which I 1,000% respect that. Like, you just, people, you're just interacting with people. You're not trying to, make connections to make yourself bigger. You're just interacting with people on that level. And I remember I met him one time. I saw him and Tim Tracker at Hollywood Studios, and I was in line somewhere, and I recognized him, and I was like, oh, are you Adam the Woo? And he's like, oh yeah. And I shook his hand. And I didn't even ask. I was like, hey, like, I've seen the channel, like, I like stuff. And then he was like, oh, do you do stuff? So we got to talking a little bit. And he just like he did seem genuine. Like, he didn't seem like a jerk. He seemed like when you talk to him, he'd actually look you in the eye and be like, oh yeah, that's cool. And I had the kids with us, and he was kind of like, oh, that's your daughter. Like, we're just saying hey to him and stuff like that. But cool. he did seem like a really good guy. And just the stuff you're seeing after the fact, it's just, it's you never want to see it, but especially for Christmas. And it's like 51 is not old. Like, you just don't expect it to hear that. And that was very, because we were about to record a video actually with Conductor when that all broke, and some people were like, because I think there had been like death hoaxes of his before, and some people were like, hopefully this is just a joke or something, but obviously that is not what happened. But yeah, rest in peace to Adam the Woo. It's one of those where I kind of feel bad that I didn't really watch his content more than I don't watch vlogs much, but I feel like I was missing out on watching some of his videos. But I mean, the one thing I guess you can say about somebody on YouTube that's been on there that long is a lot of their life is documented on there, and you can still go check it out. And I think that's, it's not going to replace him, but that is something that a lot of, I guess you could say in history, a lot of people don't have that opportunity to be able to go back and watch somebody that has passed away in that way. But
well said.
Yeah, RIP to him. So the last thing that I have, and then we will skedaddle out of here, is I wanted to get your thoughts on this, because I think this did change in Disneyland. Oh, that's the wrong one. In Disneyland is hold on, let me find it. Wrong one. There we go. That apparently changes could be coming to Disney World's Haunted Mansion, as Imagineering has filed new permits, it says, for set installation. So it says they filed a new permit that could point to some changes at the classic Haunted Mansion attraction. The notice of commencement lists install set elements as the scope of work, hinting that there are changes in the works for the attraction. And then the speculation is because didn't they change the bride scene out in Disneyland because of what they say at the time that it was too scary or well, here it is. The bride that used to be in there was an axe murderer. And this day and age, we have to be really careful about the sensitivities of people. Said we're celebrating someone chopping off her husband's heads, and it was a weird story. I know the fans. Some will like it, and some will say, "Oh, you changed something again. That's our job. That's what we're here for." That was Kim Irvine. She is no longer with the company, but that was what they changed out there. So I suppose, do you think that this is a change they'll make in Disney World to match out in Disneyland?
Yeah, I think so. Probably 100%. Now, do you guys have the hanging scene or no out there?
We do.
That was another thing that was rumored to go away. Now, it never did go away out here in California, but that was another thing that was sort of like, I know a lot of executives at Disney were thinking that was like insensitive to people with mental health issues and things like that. So there's a lot of things here that could kind of happen with this, we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I talked about this in video like last year when she made these statements. And I guess to the point where it's like, if you start going around trying to it's like, you're not celebrating the bride chopping off her husband's head. Like the ride is not about like, oh, yay, we're like, it's just a fact that like, it's a haunted mansion. Like this is kind of goes into the spooky effect. Like horror movies exist because people do bad stuff in those. So like you could have the same thing about those. I just think when you go around trying to nerf everything to offend nobody, you end up with just soulless glop.
100%.
And Haunted Mansion is an iconic ride. It's been an iconic ride for a lot of the elements that were included in there. And so, I mean, if they are changing the axe murderer, like it's not that big of a deal, but it's still one of those things where like, why? Like you're in a haunted mansion, like you're at Disney World. Like I don't really feel like people are going to be traumatized by seeing like an axe murderer kind of like wink and nod that she had like killed her ex-husbands, I suppose.
No, I agree with you. I think you can overreact to this stuff. I think you can overreact to this stuff. I mean, we like you said, we have horror movies. I mean, isn't that Welcome to Dury or whatever that is about it? The killer clown.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, should we not allow that? Because that's not, there's violence in movies all the time and there's things that happen. I mean, I don't understand why it's different here. I don't understand, I mean, if they want to put a sign out front saying, hey, there's intense imagery or whatever, okay, fine. But to get rid of it, I agree with you. You nerf it to the point where it becomes like this soulless kind of thing, I mean, when you're a storyteller, you're supposed to have storytelling isn't about making everything happy. It's about having the ups and the downs, the scary and the sad and the happy and the excited. It's about all these different elements, right? It's not just about, one thing. And I think, obviously the Imagineers understood that back in the day with Walt and all that. And I feel like we're kind of getting into this thing where it's like, we're hyper afraid to like make anyone upset. And, I mean, is there any evidence to that these scenes have caused anybody any emotional distress? I mean, any evidence to even point in that direction? Why are we reacting to something that we don't even know is even happening? I don't know.
Well, that's a good point. It's like you're hypothetically trying to figure out if people will be offended by a certain thing. And I think that the statement about hers that I always had an issue with when she said this, again, Kim Irvine is no longer with the company, but where she says, celebrating chopping off the husband's head. It's not what the story was about. It's not a weird story. Those types of stories have existed because there was folklore and all sorts of things of that nature, and it is spooky. But she also says some will like it and some will say, "Oh, you changed something again." That's our job. That's why we're here for. That's not your job. Your job is not to change stuff just to change it. Because in my opinion, you're talking about Imagineers that created something that people have not been able to replicate on that scale, like the original Imagineers, what they were able to do. And in my opinion, you have inferior Imagineers going in and tinkering. It's like going into the Mona Lisa. I'm not saying that Haunted Mansion's like a work of art, but what I'm saying is like going in there and be like, well, actually, they messed up on this part. We need to go in and fix this. And it's like, who are you to say that needs to be fixed? Like, I agree with you. There's nobody coming out of here like I was traumatized by the Haunted Mansion, or, you know, if someone came away of like they were having, you know, bad thoughts and the Haunted Mansion put them over the edge. I have a feeling like, you know, you needed more help before you got on the Haunted Mansion anyways. Like, it's not the Haunted Mansion's fault.
Right.
You can watch something on TV. Like, there's just so many things that can be out there. And I hate the idea of changing a classic attraction that people have loved for decades because of perceived, you know, things that people might be offended by, but you're trying to proactively prevent it.
Yes. No, well said. Well said. If that was the thing that put you over the edge, then there was something seriously going on that, I mean, anything at that point could have triggered you. I mean, you could have watched a TV show or a movie or anything that would have put you, you know, and that's the thing. It's like, it's kind of whack-a-mole at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, we're not allowed to have anything scary, anything spooky, because it might put someone over the edge. But I don't think that's the way to approach life, you know? And I don't know, man. And there's no evidence even that these things have caused any of that, you know? I mean, the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland's been here since 1969? I mean,
well, and like, especially if you're going to play this sensitive about Haunted Mansion, and in the same city, and you go over to Universal Studios with Halloween Horror Nights, like, they don't care. They're just like, this house is a house full of like all sorts of horrible stuff goes on in here. And you don't hear anybody, you know, like, it's just like, it seems to me that it's just, if you give a committee and you tell people like your job is to do X, Y, and Z, they're going to do it. And this is what happens when you have a dedicated team that's supposed to go in and, quote, fix problems in the park. Where there's not problems, you'll create problems to fix.
Right. No, 100%, Jared. And that's the thing. If you go through, and that just goes for life in general. If you go through life in general looking for negative, you're gonna find a bunch of negative stuff. I mean, this is, if you're looking for something, you're gonna find it. You know.
Yep.
It's the same thing here. If you have a whole committee dedicated to finding things that might offend somebody somewhere, you're gonna find a bunch of stuff. It's just the way it is. And I can go through all the Disney parks. I can go through all the Universal parks and find 1,000 things that might offend somebody. But do we really want to live like that? I don't know, man. I just think that, you know, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but that's just how we feel, man. I mean, I think that you have to, like, within reason, obviously, right? I mean, like, obviously there are certain things that are so egregious that you really don't want to go there anymore. Like the old school Betty Boop cartoons and stuff like that, right? There are certain things that are like, okay, we're way beyond that as a society now. But a lot of this Disney park stuff isn't that, though, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's just, you look at it and you're like, you know, Haunted Mansion is a very, like, I don't know how to even classify it. It's not really spooky. It's not scary.
No.
It's more like a tongue-in-cheek of like a haunted house in a way. But like, it's all kind of like in my mind, it's always been a little bit of like a joke kind of a way. You know what I mean? Like, you're going through it and nobody goes through and actually thinks that these things actually happen. Again, it's old school storytelling. You're going in and you got the seance scene and all these things like that. And like, I completely agree. If you're going around trying to find things to be offended about, you will find them. And it's kind of a microcosm of society in many ways. And I think that this may have been something 5-10 years ago that probably would have been way more like they would have done it. At this point, I'm not convinced they do it, but they might. I mean, they have mentioned before that they might do it, and considering they did it at Disneyland, I wouldn't be surprised by it. And it wouldn't be the end of the world. It wouldn't ruin the ride. But again, once you start tinkering, but I do think if you take out the scene where, you know, there is somebody that is at the, you know, at the top in the waiting room there, I mean, you start really changing major elements of this. It's just like, well, what is it just going to become like the small world 2.0? Like, we can't have anybody, like, no dark themes. It's just everybody's happy because we don't want to, you know, offend people. It's just, I just don't know what it eventually turns into if that's the case.
Well, no, 100%. And I've even said this with animation, because a lot of fans get into this thing where it's like, you know, animation, you should really water it down for kids, right? And I've always said, like, you should not do that. Walt Disney never did that. I mean, he had no problem, you know, taking out Bambi's mother in 1940 something, right?
Yeah.
But all those kids, you know,
all the moms never made it in Walt Disney's movies.
Exactly. And even like in Michael Eisner era, I mean, Hunchback is a crazy dark film, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Very dark. I mean, and I love that about it, right? It's cool that I mean, the Japanese understand this. The Japanese understand animation as an art form and that it's for kids and it can be for adults, you know, and they get it. Out here in America, though, we're super sensitive. But even like Lion King, that Mufasa scene will rip you apart. Like that is a crazy, but that's what makes that movie so powerful, though, you know? You take these things out and you water it down. Like the Mufasa scene sucks. Like, I mean, it's hard to watch. It is. But it makes the movie so much better and so much more of a more emotional gut punch because of that scene. And I feel like with these attractions, it's the same kind of thing where like if you start to water this down, you lose the impact.
Yeah.
It becomes watered down gobbledygook. And then, you know, I don't know, man. And again, there's context and there's like, obviously there's, you know, like exceptions or what have you. I understand all that, but it just seems like a lot of the stuff is a way overreaction, you know? So,
yeah. Well, yeah, like you were saying, you go into, you're trying to find problems to solve. You're going to find plenty. And you're just talking about a ride where it's like, the whole concept is it's a mansion that is haunted. And then when you think of haunted houses, what do you typically think of? Like all sorts of stuff. You think of like gruesome things that have happened or what you don't think, you know, it's like now all of a sudden you can't have certain things in there. Like it's just, I said it at the time, I just felt it was an overreaction to nothing. And I hope they don't change a whole lot in here. It seems like, I mean, some of this, of course, is speculation because of based off those former comments and what they did in Disneyland. But maybe it's just an update to add something in there. It could be something like that doesn't involve the bride or anything of that nature. But it's right. Yeah, we'll see.
Real quick too, before we get to Storybook, I just want to say real quick, Jared, too. It's kind of like this whole idea of what Walt Disney, he said, you know, these parks he said Disneyland will never be completed as long as there's imagination left in the world, right? And he had that same kind of mission statement for Epcot. It was this ever-changing city of tomorrow, right? I feel like those comments, I love that about what he did. I love that. And I love the fact that these parks are constantly changing, but that can also be sort of weaponized, so to speak, for like anything. Well, okay. And I like Kim Irvine. I really, really do. But with this whole thing about like change is what we do. Yes, it is. But, you know, I don't know. You know, intention matters, I think, too. And I think also what you're replacing it with does matter, too. Change, like you were saying, for the sake of it is not what Walt wanted.
Right. No, it's like the I guess you would just say the spirit of it. It's like if new technology emerges and there's something that can enhance this ride and we can upgrade it and it's a better experience, you know, that's a conversation to be had. But when you're just talking about, it's like, well, we're going to go in and change the original Star Wars. Well, why? Well, it's because what we do, we change stuff. You're like, well, change for the sake of change is not good. Like there's a lot of things that have been messed with that should have just been left alone. And I think, you know, some of these rides, again, I just point to the fact that greater Imagineers before this group of Imagineers created these things. And in my opinion, I don't think that they require any changes. And I haven't heard, like you were saying, I haven't heard anybody have this moral outrage at the Haunted Mansion. You don't have people protesting the Haunted Mansion. You might have some people online here and there that say something, but a lot of times I think Disney gets really almost like they find like one off post somewhere and they're like, oh, everybody's mad, we got to change it. And you're like, that was like 3 people. I'm like 100% on Twitter. Like it doesn't matter. Like most people like it how it is. Just leave it how, like, you know, you don't always have to change stuff just to have something new added to an attraction or anything like that.
No, well said. Well said. Yeah. I mean, I suffer from anxiety disorder. I've always had it, you know, or whatever, but I'm not going to, you know, sit here and like have the world change for me. Like that's my own thing I got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Right, like I, you know, and I think most people, even if you're dealing with some really dark shit, like I think that most people understand that. And the Haunted Mansion isn't the thing that's going to push, you know, somebody, you know, and yeah, it's crazy, but hey, you know.
Well, in most people, like I've known people who do suffer from like depression and have had issues in the past. Like they actually find a lot of humor in dark stuff. Yeah. Like funny enough, like they get like that's kind of their sense of humor.
Right.
And so like I don't really think like if somebody was even, and I'm not going to speak for people, but it's like I could find people that are suffering from something like they might find a little comical to be like, oh, that's funny, or like whatever's in there, something like that. But it's yeah, it could be all about nothing, but hopefully it's just they're just going to change some lighting or something. I guess we'll see on that front. But
hopefully
we did have a 10 from Storybook Sorceress. So talking about being original and truthful, big thanks to both of you for being here. What you guys are saying applies to you guys, good guys making our days a little bit more fun. Well, that is very nice of you. Thank you, Storybook.
Thank you, Storybook.
I don't handle compliments well, but I appreciate the kind words, and it's awesome that we can just come in here and like I always loving the chats going and just having a good time. And as crazy as the world can be, you kind of try and create your own little realm where things can just be fun and especially around Christmas time and relax a little bit and all that stuff. But it is nice there. But that's all the topics I had. I think we're about to wrap this up because I just want to do a little chill stream here to say hey and Merry Christmas to everybody. And Kiki and Luca though did say if you want to see way overreaction, you should see my wife.
I love, dude. This is why I love Kiki and Luca. He is so funny, dude. My
wife can hear me. I'll just say no comment. My wife never overreacts to anything at all, nor do I. I mean, I'm never overreacting, but I actually think I'm going to finish up. I think we're going to watch Stranger Things, finish up that third episode of that second part of season 5 before the finale. I think we're going to watch that tonight. But before we go, what you got going on for you do anything for New Year's or anything different on the channel this coming week?
Nothing too crazy for New Year's, but just gonna have I have a great topic actually tomorrow. I'm gonna have Sam chat. He's a friend of the channel. I love Sam, and he's gonna come on. We're gonna talk about DCA, and we're gonna kind of dissect the dedication plaque, the rededication plaque from 2012, and the new mission statement for the park, and to kind of see if the new stuff like Pandora fits within that new mission statement. So we're going to kind of break that down because it's actually kind of interesting the way they worded that plaque. They talk a lot, and I don't want to spoil too much, but they talk a lot about the dreamers of California, which fits into Stan Lee and the James Camerons. So we're going to kind of dissect that and kind of break that down, which I thought was kind of interesting. Real nerdy shit. We're going deep, but
I like it. I like it. I like getting into like the very details of stuff, and then you just like way too much get into it. It's actually kind of fun to do that, but
absolutely,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you can find OG over at Orange Grove 55. Always enjoy you being here. It's always a good time, and you guys should check out our video we did on this channel about tipping. We also talk about your live stream too about tipping.
Yeah.
I feel like that was funny just to talk about because I've just had so many rants over the years on tipping in general. Just drives me up a wall, but
it's a thing though. It really is a thing. I think people are really getting kind of fed up with that whole situation. So it's like so much bigger than just like Universal.
Yes. Yeah, it's very much like they're just kind of following a trend, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh no, people are really mad about this. And like it was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, we've had enough of this. I'm not tipping for my $25 quick service burger. I that's where I draw the line. It should have maybe it should have been at Starbucks, but either way.
It was funny. I actually went to a local tea place the other day, and I was laughing in my head. I was kind of like laughing to myself because I did the whole thing on the little screen, and then they offered me the tip. Like, oh man, our video, that's hilarious. I love it.
Every time. It's like shameless at this point. It's insane, but
I love it.
It is fun to talk about. But so I'm trying to think of anything different. Yeah, I don't think it's any different on my end. Well, I don't know if we'll go live next week or not. I think I may go live at least, and you're more welcome to join or whoever. I may send out a text, but I might go live around New Year's because I'm not a big New Year's person, so I don't go out or anything. So I figure I might as well just hang out and chat about stuff and see what's going on, maybe. But I'm not a big New Year's guy. I'd rather just sit at home and chill than go make a big fuss trying to go out and deal with all that stuff. So maybe that's just me, but no. So. Well, I thank you, the chat. Thank you guys for being here. You guys were awesome. Thank you for everyone that super chatted. Kiki and Luca, Remy D, Matthew Murr, Kiki and Luca. We also had Storybook Sorceress. Greatly appreciate you guys and everybody in the chat that contributed. It's always fun seeing you guys interact and just had a good old time. Hope you guys had a great Christmas as well. Hope everybody's doing well and have a good New Year's coming up in this weird week of post Christmas before the New Year's is just kind of this weird time where everything stops. It's just, I've always felt this week is just weird. Whenever like you're just waiting for the new year to go and nobody does anything in this week, it's just kind of strange. But
it's true. It's so true. It is. Oh man, that's a great way of putting it. Like the week where time stops. It really is that. You know,
it really from a business perspective, nobody does anything. Like they'll tell you, oh yeah, we'll look at that at the end of the year, and you're like, okay, and like nobody does anything except for just waiting for the new year. Then everyone's got their New Year's resolutions, so it's like everyone just starts the year off like super hard. But nobody does anything the week before. It's just kind of interesting how that goes. But
yeah, and I kind of don't. I'm like you, where I'm kind of like I kind of need to move. Like I don't mean necessarily even physically, but just I need to like have some kind of output going. And I just don't like that whole like we're all just gonna sit here and do nothing for a week.
Yeah.
I don't really like that, you know. But
this is why I can't do beach vacations, like just sitting at the beach. I can do it for a day and then I'm just bored out of my mind. Like I need to do stuff like physically and mentally. Like I'm like a hamster. If I'm not moving, like it and I felt it like I didn't work out for like 2 days straight. And I was like, I got to do something because I just felt like a blob of just nothing sitting on a couch. So I definitely get that. But no, it was a great time. Again, shout out to Theme Park Conductor. Go subscribe over there as well. I will put on this channel, everyone's channel information will be in the description. So you guys go be sure to subscribe over to Orange Grove 55. Theme Park Conductor. They do some great content over there, of course. And then we're always on each other's channels doing stuff like that. So it's always a good time. And we will see you guys in the next one. And it might be next week, maybe a couple weeks from now. We'll see. But either way, you guys have a great weekend. And we will see you guys very, very soon. So talk to you guys later. Bye.
Good evening. Tempers flared at Universal Studios tonight when the park ran out of its signature drink, butterbeer. What started as disappointment soon grew into a noisy confrontation with security and police.
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. It's Christmas. Yeah. Sleigh bells ring. It's Christmas. Gift in my hand. It's Christmas. Rapid quick, more Christmas. Right up the block. It's Christmas. Yeah.
Yo, move. Back up, back up. Oh my God. It's hitting the monorail.
Get ready to blast beyond your imagination at the all-new Epic Universe Theme Park.
It's the adventure of every world in one place.
Thrill through twisting coasters, journey through cosmic frontiers, and end your night under dazzling...
Buckle up, time travelers. Blast through the past, rocket to the future, and hang on tight as you chase the clock in the ultimate adventure. It's fast, it's furious, and it's only at Universal Studios Orlando. Back to the...
Hello, neighbor. Welcome to the Capture the Magic channel. I'm so glad you found your way here. I've heard that the host, Jared, is a very handsome and charming guy. And you know something? I think you'll enjoy listening to him a whole lot.